an exuberant good morning to each one of you, to our profound jury members, to our renowned panelists, to our very dear students. I, Ria Ghai, on behalf of Amity University, Greater Noida campus, welcome you all to day 2 of INBUSH Era World Summit 2022. And we are here to organize an event and on global case competition in association with PhD's Chamber of Commerce and Industry. To give you a brief about our INBUSH Era World Summit, it is on the theme of embracing and leading change, challenges and strategies to reinvent and innovate. We have received a lot of case studies from esteemed and renowned professors, academicians around the globe who have submitted their eminent research work, and from University of Kilgai, Tulane University, University of Brunel, London, and various IITs and IIMs across the globe have submitted their case studies. More than 2,000 case studies has been submitted, and out of that, we have shortlisted top 10 case studies for this Global Case Competition 2022. Before we would like to start with our event, we would like to seek blessings, and we will want to hear an opening remarks from a very dignified, our dignitary, Brigadier Hardeep Singh Thani, sir, who is Dean Management and Allied Programs, Dean Admissions, Dean Training and Placements, and Dean Administration, Amity University, Greater Noida campus. We welcome you, sir, to this event, and we would like to please give some opening remarks before we officially start the event. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ria. I hope I'm audible and there is no echo.
Absolutely audible, sir. You may please proceed.
Right. Great. Thank you very much, Dr. Ria. It's a great honor to be. I think it's getting repeated somehow. Is IT? I am getting an echo out here. Is it okay out there? Can IT support help us in this?
There's no echo from our end. You're absolutely audible. Rest if IT team can. So it's okay from our end. You may please proceed.
Okay. Right. Okay. Fine. Distinguished panelists, jury members, and participants, it's really a great honor to be with you today, talking to you and discussing about the great activity of the case study. The global case study competition is being conducted year after year, and every year it has started becoming more and more interesting. And we also realize that more number of people are participating in this particular activity, and also the impact of this program or this activity is actually very beneficial on all the students and all people who are participating in this particular activity. Today we are joined by a very distinguished guest, Dr. Michael Flores. Very warm welcome to you, ma'am. And we're really honored to have you with us today. The case study is actually a very powerful educational tool, wherein a lot of people who learn by examples, live examples, or hard data, they make use of it and they draw their lessons from the exercise which they undertake. This is something which gets embedded in their memory better, and it's a powerful learning tool which is being utilized by not only the management schools, but also law schools, the medical schools, and a lot of engineering schools also. And there's no denying this fact that is one of the things which really sticks to the minds of the people, because it allows you to develop your mental ability, analytical ability, and you're able to absorb the facts better, analyze the facts better and get into detail of each of these. Real life examples, especially, uh, they can relate to the real life examples and they are able to provide solutions to the people for whom they are undertaking this case study. The students, the industry is actually very, they look forward to anybody who wants to undertake some kind of case study with respect to the problems which they are facing. So, because in case they are able to, the kind of expert advice that our faculties can give with the body of students who are fresh minds, looking at a problem from totally dispassionate angle, and they are able to provide the solutions to them. So that there's a lot of opportunity for the students to prove their ability to do the analytical study, and also the industry is also able to home on to the students who can be their potential employees. As you go through that, you realize that there are a lot of industries who have given job opportunities to such students who undertaken the case studies with respect to their organizations. They, in fact, this helps the student in many ways. They develop the analytical ability. They are able to relate with the real life situations. They are also able to connect with the industry or the people and get the hard data, which can be used by them, which is a great experiential tool, which they can make use of as they grow in industry. A lot of students, like I mentioned earlier, have been able to get a job because they mention in their CV as to what kind of case studies they have undertaken. This gives an opportunity to the industry to accept the fact that the student is will be able to contribute immensely if he is able to join their organization. So, with so many benefits available to the students, and we've seen over the last few years wherein the participation of students has been increasing uh, considerably. It encourages us a great deal that we should continue with this kind of competition in a very healthy manner. The fact that we have accepted, we do accept the case studies from all domains, be it your fashion design, be it your management school, or train or commerce, or any other domain, even engineering also. So this also gives an opportunity for people to hear out as to how the person from one domain is analyzing, dissecting the problem, and solving the problem piece by piece, and thus providing a workable solution to the problem being faced by the industry or faced by people at large. And I must say that we would like to honor such the people who are the top three people that we are doing in any case, and we will remain connected with the we'll develop these case studies into publishable material, and we will be able to publish in a kind of a book with the help of all the good case studies that have come to us, so that the people can also have the satisfaction that they were honored, and they can refer back to the case studies which were part of this competition. It's indeed, I must compliment the organizing team, uh, the Dr. Vikas Garg, Dr. Shalini, Dr. Ria, and my complete management light domain departments who have worked very hard to make this event very successful and to make it interesting for the people, for the students, and for the scholars to participate in. I would like to give the best wishes to the organizers for this program, and may the better case studies be coming to our campus, coming to this program, coming to this competition, and may the level of this competition get higher and higher every year. Wishing you the very best of luck. And thank you very much, Dr. Michael Flores, for joining us. And I'd like to wish the very best of luck for the proceedings ahead. Thank you very much, Dr. Shah. Dr. Ria.
Thank you so very much, sir, for your insightful words to all the panelists and your motivational words to the organizing team. We are absolutely thrilled to have you with us. And thank you so much for your opening remarks. And now, before we actually begin with our presentation, it takes me an immense pleasure to welcome our esteemed dignitary, um, uh, Dr. Professor Michaela Flores, who is PhD. And we welcome you to Amity University, Professor Michaela Flores. And on behalf of Amity University, we welcome you to the INBUSH World Era Summit 2022, Day 2 of INBUSH. And thank you so much for joining to Amity University. And to brief you about her achievements, I would like to read a brief profile of Michaela Flores. And Michaela Flores, PhD, is a faculty of management in the Department of Economics and Business, University of Calgary, Italy. She received her PhD in management and holds a master degree in economics from the University of Calgary. She has been teaching family business management for several years. She has published articles in leading journals, example, Family Business Review, Journal of Small Business, in Enterprise Development, the TQM Journal, and so on, and has received relevant grants for her studies in Academy of Management Best Paper 2009 and 2015, and STEP Best Paper on Conference Theme 2019. Her main interest of research focuses on strategy, organizational goals, and goal-driven behaviors in family firms, including entrepreneurship, marketing, innovation, and growth. We welcome you, Professor Michaela Flores, to Amity University once again.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here with you. And just a few words, because after the introduction of the Dean, I'm very excited to listen to understand the content of the global case studies. I strongly believe that this event is very important for the education of students, and understanding what empirically happens in the world is very important for our students around the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Flores, once again. Next, we have a profound dignitary, Dr. Dinesh Kumar Sharma, who's PhD, and he will be joining shortly to this event. And to give you all his brief profile of achievements, I would like to read. Dr. Dinesh Kumar Sharma, PhD, is a faculty member in the area of finance and head of department at School of Management, Gautam Buddha University, Greater Noida, India. He has a rich teaching and research experience of 22 years by being associated with reputed academic institutions. He teaches a wide range of subjects in the area of finance, such as financial derivatives, security analysis and portfolio management, international financial management, and financial accounting. He has taken up many responsibilities, such as a member of expert teams for UPSC assignments, panel member in the inspection team of DCI for BBA LLB program, member in selection panel at Food Corporation of India, and has also worked as head examiner at UPTO many a times. He has various publications in reputed journals, has contributed significantly in area of finance. 5 PhD theses has been awarded, that's commendable, under his able guidance, and 4 are under process. We welcome you, Dinesh Kumar Sharma, Professor Dinesh Kumar Sharma, to this event of Amity University, Greater Noida campus. I believe that Sir would be joining shortly as the event will proceed. So I would like to take the event further. Thank you once again. We have these following students, top 10, who has been selected to present their case studies in front of our profound dignitaries and renowned panelists. These 10 has been selected to present their case study. A big round of applause for all the top 10 panelists. To give you brief instructions before we officially start our case study presentations, I would like to brief you about the various opportunities for publication that is involved with the case study presentations. Your case study presentations, publication opportunities would be in Apple Academic Press Taylor and Francis Group, Springer, InterScience, e-portal of university website. These are the opportunities that all the presenters would be given. And along with it, the first, second, and third prize would be announced, and they would be invited in the valedictory function, and an appreciation certificates would be given to all the presenters. To give you a brief about this competition, the Global Case Competition at Amity University, Greater Noida brings together the best and the brightest minds around the world to solve the business case problems. Teams are given 6 weeks to prepare and submit a solution, and top 10 teams will be invited to pitch their solution to the panel of judges comprising of distinguished business executives and internationally acclaimed panel and Amity Greater Noida professors. So we have these 10 presenters in front of us: Divyarika Ghosh, Himani Seni, Murlidharan, Ananga, Suti Jain, Gaurav Malik, Aditi Dhama, Irish Jain, Mohammad Shavi, and Divyanshu Sachdeva. Congratulations to one and all for being selected as a top 10 panelist for your case study presentations. Some specific instructions before we officially start the case study presentation is that I would be playing the video presentation of all the candidates out here. And after the video presentation is completed, you are requested to switch on your cameras, and the panelists, Professor Florist and Professor Dinesh, would be asking questions from each of our presenters, and followed by the next student would be presenting their presentation. Now we are starting off with our first case presentation, and I would want all the panelists and the jury members to please hear her wonderful presentation.
Hello. Greetings to the case conference chair at the
Would it be possible for someone to please confirm if there's an audio in this presentation?
Yes, ma'am, it's there.
Okay, thank you so much.
Amity Global Case Competition. I, Divyarika Ghosh, along with my co-author Dr. Tanmoy Dey from SIBM Hyderabad, present before you the case study taking Swami Vivekananda to the masses, the journey of an entrepreneurial idea. Well, first of all, we would like to start with a small introduction of Swami Vivekananda. Born as Narendra Datta in Calcutta in 1863, he was one of the most influential visionaries in in the words of the famous Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, was the maker of modern India. Most popularly, he is credited to put Hinduism on the global map with his phenomenal speech at the Parliament of the World's Religions held at Chicago in 1893. He also went on to establish the global order of the Ramakrishna mission. Swamiji, as he was lovingly called by his disciples, always stressed upon the significance of the Vedic concept of the 4 yogas. These comprised of the Karma Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, the Raja Yoga, and the Jnana Yoga. He felt that any average adult can be a combination of 2 or more of these yogas as per his or her nature, his or her beliefs, and the understanding he has about the outside world. For example,
I believe the panelists, Dr. Flores, if you can confirm, were you able to see the presentation of our presenter?
I only hear, but I don't see the presentation. I don't know if the other. Okay.
Hello. Greetings.
Can you please confirm?
I don't only hear, but I don't see nothing.
The Amity Global Case Competition.
I presume that this is a problem with slides.
Okay. Divyarita, is the presenter here?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay. Can you quickly share your screen and your presentation?
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay.
Yes, now yeah.
Visible. You may please proceed. Thank you so much.
So I'll present live.
Yes, you may. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Divyarpita Ghosh, and me, along with my co-author, Dr. Tanmoy De, we are here to present the case study Taking Swami Vivekananda to the Masses, the journey of an entrepreneurial idea. Going ahead. So, first of all, let us have a short introduction about Swami Vivekananda. So, he was a visionary, and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose called him the maker of the Indian youth. His way of thinking was always based on the ancient Vedas, and he always thought that the four yogas was a very important pathway to live one's life. The most important way to know Swami Vivekananda is to understand that he is the one who introduced Hinduism to the Western world. And we are all familiar with the phenomenal speech that he gave at the Parliament of the World's Religions held at Chicago in 1893, where he addressed a huge crowd and he impressed them with his words. So he also went forward to establish the Global Order of Ramakrishna Mission. So our very case study starts from his teachings and the four yoga concept that he had so perfectly instilled in his disciples. So going forward, we would like to come to the protagonist of our case study, the founder, Mr. Saikat Sahu. Mr. Saikat Sahu also belongs to the Order of Ramakrishna Mission, and he was hugely influenced by Swami Vivekananda's teachings. But he wanted to spread it around the world. He wanted the masses, the people of India, to live the teachings rather than limit the knowledge to himself. There was one more thing that Mr. Saikat identified, and that was the problem of the increasing rate of marital discord, increasing rate of divorces that was happening in India. So he thought that what if people, and mostly couples, they come to live and relive the words of Swami Vivekananda and live their life based on the four yogas. So a person, if they know which yoga do they belong to, and they come to know about their personal nature, not just that, they'll come to know about their partner's nature too. So that will obviously instill a better understanding between the couple. With this thought and this concept, he went ahead to establish the Company of Divine Bonding back in 2016. But he was not very happy. Why? Because at that time, Divine Bonding was taking the shape of just another matrimonial site, and Mr. Sahu did not want that. So in 2018, he rebuilt the company and he went a step forward to present his idea on several platforms, including IIM, where he took it forward and having received a certain amount of grant, he established the present website of Divine Bonding in 2020-21. But the entire program that he wanted was that he wanted Divine Bonding to be positioned as a relationship wellness program. So it will not just be restricted to couples, but later on, he wanted to touch the lives from a child to an adult. Everybody would come under the wellness program of Divine Bonding. So this was his whole idea. Going ahead, we have a glimpse of the four yogas: the Bhakti Yoga, the people who are more emotional, Karma Yoga, people who are more action centric, Jnana Yoga, people who are more analytical and logical in their reasonings, and the Raja Yoga, those who are more, people who more listen to the mind rather than the heart. So going ahead, we looked at the homepage, the current homepage of Divine Bonding. This is what it looks like. And finally, we come to the challenges and the path ahead for divine bonding. Now, we all know that India is a secular country. Hinduism is just one of the religions. So, in a country where it is brimming with so many different religions, is it not difficult for divine bonding to be accepted widely? Why? Because on the outlook, it seems like it is based on a single religion. So, this is one of the biggest concerns of the project. The second biggest concern is this, that it is a time consuming project. Why? Because it is not easy to change somebody's mindset or increase somebody's tolerance and compatibility level overnight. It will take a certain amount of time. Going ahead, it is to be noted that if you read our case, you'll come to know that the entire project is yet to receive and reach the financial self-sustainability stage. So that is a huge, I'll say, obstacle in the entire journey of the project. One more thing that we would like the class and the audience of the case, the readers of the case, to take forward and to ponder upon is: does the proposition lack uniqueness and does it lack scalability? What business model will be best for divine bonding to carry forward? What can be the alternatives for the case to go forward, for the project to go forward? And what can be the unique proposition such that Mr. Sahu can take forward divine bonding into a successful revenue model stream? So, in short, we think that the case is fit for the students of management to discuss in their class, to brainstorm an idea from its concept stage to a commercially successful and a market fit stage. So going ahead, I would like to conclude my discussion on the Timmins model of entrepreneurial process, where we see that the founder is already in place. He has already found the opportunity, but the team and the resources are yet to come in. And when that happens, only after that, the balance of all the four elements of an entrepreneurial process will come together and will enable the success of the project. So this is one of the insights that we gave as a student of management, and we would like that the case study fits very well in the class discussion of a management school. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Divyarita, for a wonderful presentation of your case study. It was commendable, wonderfully presented. May I please request our esteemed panelist, Professor Flores, if you have any questions, you may please ask the presenter.
Yes. First of all, it's a very interesting case. It's a very particular case. Just one perplexity. In your case, DBR Pita, I don't know when, okay.
It's okay, you can call me Divya.
Okay, thank you. For example, in your opinion, is it a successful case, or how can we support, for example, this case to proceed, to escalate? Because I think that, for example, in your culture, it's probably difficult to enhance this kind of business. So I suggest you to think about very path to develop this interesting and in this in this period of COVID pandemic, for example, where people are so far, probably it's a very big opportunity for this kind of business. But in your opinion, and your team, of course, it's is it probably a successful case, or in your specific country, or not?
Okay. So taking a question first, I would like to say that the case is successful not just in our country but globally. So the first argument in that is that we must understand the Vedas, which is the ancient textbooks of India, is not just restricted to a particular religion. The concepts and the teachings of Vedas can be applied to anyone in the country, irrespective of their religion and culture. Secondly, we already see that in the global front, there are concepts like 16 personalities, which are taken up by corporates too. So the 16 personalities, if you compare those 16 personalities, you'll find that there's a great many similarities between the 4 yogas and the 16 personalities, the foundation base of it. So the way we see it, that it is already existing. But now, if we give a foundation to the entire concept, and if we say that it is coming from here, if we go back to the roots, so you're actually defining the entire problem in a greater way. And it is easier to convince the people that yes, this is what your personality is, and this is based on this concept of the Vedas, this concept of the yoga. So that way they're able to understand it better and absorb it better.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am, for your question.
Thank you too.
Thank you very much, Professor Ghosh. One question from my side regarding your case study, if panel is allowed me.
Yes, sir.
So Professor Flores, can you allow me for the same? Yeah. So my question to you, Ms. Ghosh, if you are talking that this is related with the globally, so what kind of industry do you think that this can be applicable in the future later on?
Right. So, sir, that with a growing concern of the corporates, the business world, to take care of the well-being. Now, we all know that the corporates, the HR, they are increasingly saying that take care of your employees, take care of your mental well-being. That will be equally projected to a very good productivity at work. And during the times of COVID, as ma'am already pointed out, this entire concern has escalated to a very higher percentage, right? So here we have seen that during the pandemic, when people had nowhere to go, they were inside their house altogether. They were forced to stay with people, and during that time, the marital discord or the problems between relationships actually came to the forefront. So, given the situation, when people are understanding that yes, there are people are running fast, they are so much in a hurry. So in that way, they need to take a pause and see where they are going with their personal relationships. So in this scenario, I think this is a huge opportunity, and the entire psychological business market, it is $1 billion industry, not just in India, but in the global front. Therefore, in this case, sir, I think it is a huge opportunity, not just in the country, but again, globally.
Good. Thank you very much.
Just one question again. Can I? Okay. Have you some data about the adoption of the use of the number of the customers for of this case? Have you some data?
Okay. One thing, ma'am, we would like to say that we are constantly stressing that we have presented the case in its pre-revenue stage. So the case is still in its ideating area, and that is where the brainstorming part on the part of the students will come in. Because if the students get an idea that, okay, this is the entire concept that it is based on, what can be the revenue models based on these things that we have. So this is a very important thing to consider over here. It's still pre-revenue. So how do you make it into a successful revenue stream?
Okay, many thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
That was a wonderful, insightful question QA round. Thank you so much, Vidyartha, for a wonderful presentation.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a pleasure and a great opportunity by Amity.
Most welcome. And thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Professor Flores and Professor Vikas sir, for asking the question. Before I would proceed with the next presenter, we welcome and I would want all the presenters and the jury members to please give a big round of applause for our presenter, our esteemed jury, Dr. Dinesh Kumar Sharma, who is PhD. Welcome, sir, to Amity University Greater Noida campus, to INBUSH Era World Summit 2022, to the Global Case Competition. We welcome you, sir. To brief you about his achievements, I would like to brief again and read his profile. Dr. Dinesh Kumar Sharma, who is a PhD, is a faculty member in finance and head of department at the School of Management, Gautam Buddha University, Greater Noida, India. He has a rich teaching and a research experience of 22 years by being associated with the reputed academic institutions. He has taken up many responsibilities such as member of expert teams for UPSC assignments, panel member in the inspection team of DCI for the BBA LLB program, member is selection panel at Food Corporation of India, and has also worked as head examiner in UPTO many a times. We welcome you, Professor Dinesh Kumar Sharma, to Amity University Greater Noida campus.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir, we would like to give you a brief about all the case presenters who have been shortlisted. These are the 10 top shortlisted candidates, are reputed scholars who would be presenting their case studies. We have already completed with the first case presenter and we are moving ahead to next, and her name is Himani Seni. The panel, that is Professor Flores and Professor Dinesh, would be asking questions from the case presenters. Moving on to our next case presenter, we have Himani Seni. And Himani Seni, I hope you are here. Could you please?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. I'm Himani Seni. So here's the
Himani,
this pandemic has
video is visible.
Yes, ma'am. It is visible. Ma'am, can you start it from the first slide? My case study, where I have divided this into three.
Presenting again for Himani.
Good morning, all. I'm Himani Seni, research scholar of GLA University, Mathura. I'm going to present my case study presentation on managing organizational performance during COVID-19. So here's the overview of the case. The case is about a private manufacturing firm that faces the impact of COVID-19 on their organizational performance. ABC Private Limited provides the end product to their customer through business-to-business market for their final consumption. ABC Private Limited has found that overall performance of the organization has been impacted during the pandemic situation due to multiple reasons. Organizations have no choice but to shut their businesses, their work, and stop the operations for the initial phase of the lockdown that has been imposed by the government. The COVID-19 has shattered the organization and created a complex and challenging environment for managers and human resource management practitioners, as company has been closed for the lockdown period. After a period of time, organizations have decided to adapt new and alternative ways of working by changing their policies and practices to continue their work functions. As well as ABC Private Limited has also decided to adapt new or alternate ways of working uh, by changing them to continue their work functions. So, this pandemic has caused uncertainty and created conditions in which industries has made significant efforts in each field to continue their work. There was no choice left for the industrialists and have to shut down their businesses for a period of time. Economy has suffered a lot. The economic downturn has been caused by the coronavirus pandemic. The COVID-19 outbreak had led to a slowdown in the world economic activities as economy has taken a hit and as a result unemployment rates have risen. COVID-19 has created a situation where more than 50% of workers was not able to work. Today's environment has um, resorted to technological solutions. Many problems that arose during COVID-19 have been solved by technological solutions also. So, as a consequence of technology support, uh, many problems has been solved and the work from home facility have been successful solely due to the technological applications and gadgets. Even so, as social distancing and COVID rules are there and they must to be adhered to, so automation technology based technological solution has expanded during the COVID-19. So here is the grammatical presentation of my case study where I have divided this into three parts: phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Phase 1 is in phase 1 the COVID-19 crisis has came and businesses have been shut down, and the impact of COVID-19 on organizational performance is very high, and due to all these organizations have been shut down. In phase 2, company has company, organization, industries, all these firms has come up with the action plan where they have decided to implement the automation technology and where the labor based work has been shifted to skill based employee work. In phase 3, the training program has been provided to the old employees of the company, and organization has recovered from the losses that has been occurred during the COVID-19 and due to the shutdown of the company, and overall organizational performance OP has been improved by the adoption of the automation technology. So here is the challenges and the problem that has been occurred and has been faced by the ABC Private Limited. So, firstly, for ABC Private Limited has been closed due to the uncertainties surrounding during the COVID-19 epidemic, and ABC Private Limited started facing the losses because operations were not progressing as expected. The managers could not handle the entire workload from their homes due to this pandemic situations, and for a specific period of time, all work has been suspended. And the mid of the ongoing pandemic situation, when industries got permission from the government to resume their operations with restricted conditions, ABC Private Limited has also decided to reopen under extraordinary safety protocols and rules and regulations to recover the economic shock that has been occurred due to the shutdown. ABC Private Limited has experienced numerous problems in resuming business operations. Majority of employees were hesitant to resume work from office due to the safety reasons. New employees demanding a high compensation, and it is critical to ensure that they will work in the line with the company's strategic goal. Few employees have left the company because they have returned to their hometown and are unable to return until the pandemic has passed. So basically, the biggest challenge for the ABC Private Limited is the attrition rate was high during all this period. So then after that, ABC Private Limited has came into an action and made an action plan and devised a strategy to opted and implemented automation technology so that they can automate the functions of the production and packaging process that requires a little or no human intervention. As a result, um, then now managers can track and monitor the process, and they can process the data as well through online applications from anywhere. The huge labor-based manpower requirement has been shifted to skill-based manpower requirement by adapting automation technology. It is critical to make sure that skill-based new employees that are working from home will work together to achieve the organizational objectives or not. So employees are required to maintain their good performance to ensure the overall organizational performance, as employees plays an important role in making a effective organization. Multiple training programs has been provided by the ABC Private Limited to their employees. To meet the job requirement, ABC Private Limited has organized multiple upskill training programs for their long tenured employees who are associated with the organization for more than 5 years. Employees have been given automobile and first aid training also so that they can deal with any emergency circumstances that may arise during the pandemic situation. ABC Private Limited has begun to recover from the economic shock that has been caused by the COVID-19 situation by following their new action plan, and it has been also calculated that the losses will be converted into profit in near future. It has been also observed that the organizational performance has also got benefited from the adoption of the automation technology. So here are the case study questions. The first question is how the manpower requirement changed over the time and how has this affected organizational performance. So the manpower requirement is changed due to the situation of COVID-19, where labor-based work has been transformed into skill-based worker requirement due to technological changes that has been adapted by the ABC Private Limited. And the technologies and change organizational policies impact indirectly the performance of the organization. So ABC Private Limited has opted the both. They have changed their policies as well as they have adapted the technological changes by adapting the automation of automation technologies. So the overall performance of the organization has been improved and the outcomes were positive. Next question is, it is a wise decision for ABC Private Limited to adopt automation technology. So yes, it was a wise decision for ABC Private Limited that they have adopted the automation technology. The aim of the adopting automation is to boost efficiency and reliability. However, automation replaces labor work, but on the other side, it also increases the productivity. It also higher the rates of production and gives better quality services. Chances of human error are become zero because all the work will be handled by the machines. And the another benefit of automation is the reduction of the number of hours to complete the production and packaging process. Using automation technology has given the great outcomes to ABC Private Limited, and it has assisted in increasing overall organizational performance as well as recovering from the economic shock that has been caused by the COVID-19 and faced by ABC Private Limited. So, it has been found that by adapting automation technology, ABC Private Limited has came in ABC Private Limited recover from all the losses that has been occurred due to COVID-19. Thank you.
Hello, Himani. This ABC Private Limited is a hypothetical company or it is a real company situated in Mathura region?
Sir, not in Mathura region. It is situated in Noida, but I cannot disclose the details and the name of the company. That's why I have put it as ABC Private Limited.
Otherwise, you have collected data from a means real company.
Yes, sir. The case is belongs to a real company that I have discussed with the CEO of the company. Actually, I have discussed the case with the CEO of the company, but he didn't give me the permission to disclose the details and the name of the company. That's why I was using the name as
But
ABC
you
Private.
have not mentioned any data even means regarding the attrition rate or how much labor has just leave the organization and how much new labor the company has hired. And you have mentioned many times the company has recovered its losses, but you have not mentioned any data.
Yes, sir.
Simultaneously,
Yes,
you
sir.
have
Because
mentioned.
I do not. Yes, sir. Because I do not have the data to show. As I have told you that I have discussed the case with the CEO of the company, but unfortunately he didn't allow me to disclose the other things. That's why.
I think data you can show means the identity of the company you should not, but the data you can share because you are not revealing the identity of the company. Simultaneously, you have mentioned the automation. Company has focused on automation, and you have just give the benefits of automation, like it will reduce the cost, it will increase the efficiency. But you have not mentioned the increase in the cost. You have just missed that cost part. Means automation carry the huge cost. You have missed that part.
Yes, sir.
There
Yes,
is
sir.
no data related to that part. So without any
Yes,
data,
sir.
how you
For
can just conclude
yes, sir.
the company will recover its losses in very near future? And without any data, how you can just conclude?
Sir, actually, I have seen the things in the company, but for showing and to make it in presentable situation, he didn't allow me to show the data. And
Means if you are not revealing the identity of a particular company, so you can just quote the data. Okay, this is from my side.
issues, network issues. Hello.
Miss
Hello.
Miss Imani, you are on mute.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hello.
Yes, yes,
Sir,
yes.
actually there is some network issues.
We can understand. We can
Sorry for
understand. Kindly proceed.
yes, sir. Sir, I was not able to hear what Dinesh sir has been.
My dear sir, his question is very simple. Once you are taking the company name and you are saying that you can't open the details of the company name, but you have to
Yes, sir.
open the data, right? Without data, how you can come on the conclusion point? This is the question of Dr. Sarma. I think I'm correct, Dr. Sarma.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So this same I am telling that he didn't. The CEO of the company didn't allow me to take the name and other details of the company. That's why he didn't give me the data as well. He showed me there when I was discussing the case. He showed me, but he didn't give me the data to present here and to take it with me. So, sir, that's why I was not able to present the data here. And
Okay, thank you so much, Himani, for such an informative case study you have presented. And thank you, Professor Dinesh Sarma, for asking up the question. Now, may I please request another session chair, Professor Flores, if you want any questions, you can please go ahead. Thank you.
Yes, yes. I agree with my colleagues that the relevance of data, the data is relevant to understand the ability to sustain this change from labor to technological perspective, to technological approach. So I suggest Imani to show the data, or better to understand if data are really so important, really so suitable for the case. But I think that you have to underline how can your case be useful in a globally perspective. In a global perspective, how can we improve? We learn something about your case. For example, I think in Italy, okay, in a globally perspective. Which are the main drivers that allow you to identify this as a successful case?
So, ma'am, basically the case is about that the company was not working with the technology earlier, the COVID-19 situation, but when the COVID-19 crisis has came, then the company was shut down, and there is no way left for them, and then they have decided to opt the technological solutions to continue their work. So in, I think for globally, if there are companies who are not working with the technological solutions, and if they are need in the technological, or if they have the option to transform their work to and handle their work from the technological applications, then they can uh, opt them and to continue their work in to continue their work, they can opt the technological solutions if they can. So globally, I think it can be the answer.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Flores. Next up, we would like to move ahead with our next presenter, and the presenter is Murli Tharun. Congratulations for being selected as top 10 case presenter. I am playing Murli Tharun's presentation, and after that, Murli Tharun is requested to switch on the camera so that the session chairs can ask the questions. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Muralidharan AK. I work as a news editor in Times Internet, Bangalore. I pursue my PhD program in Times School of Media, Bennett University. The topic I present here is the challenges and possibilities for digital media startups. How to create a sustainable model. India has one of the fastest growing and most vibrant media business globally. Thanks to digital journalism, the Indian media industry has experienced an expeditious growth in user acquisition over the last decade. Due to the growth in internet user, and many other reasons, digital media startups have launched in huge numbers. When I say digital media startups, it indicates the independent online portals that are not part of newspapers, TV, or any other national media outlets. So, what is the significance of the study? Entrepreneurship in digital media has evolved into one of the most popular career paths for many, including the new media journalist, journalist, entrance journalist, etc. So there is a trend in this segment of media, in digital media especially, downsizing and shutting down of business ventures or the startups. It has become very common in this segment. The another reason is the declining public trust in digital news media is a serious issue. People are not very keen to trust media because of the tide of the fake news and the other issues with data verification. So it is important to study why these kind of things are happening. And these are the important research questions. First one is why startup media cannot thrive in this competitive environment. And what are the hurdles do media startups face in the current media competitive world, predominantly dominated by the huge media giants and corporates? And another important question is how did this independent media outlet or the startups which are actively involved in public sphere, how these startups are survive? And lastly, how do the media startups work with and against the gain of established media? We know established media will have to, or they have the tendency to go with the flow with very many interests. It can be a business interest, it can be a corporate interest, it can be advertisement interest, or it can be the interest of the management. So, what these media startups do differently from the as well established or mainstream media? So, these are the basic methodology and tools we use for the study. The study basically based on the qualitative research techniques, that is a semi-structural interview and a focus group discussion. Uh, Basically, the journalist will be part of these discussions and the interviews that I will explain later and the next slide actually. So two kind of sample technique we'll use, and one is the purposive sampling and the next one is snowball techniques. We'll pick to select the samples. And if you come to the research universe, and we will have use various digital outlets, resources from various digital outlets, and of course, founders will be there, editors will be there, and journalists will be there from those media startups. Also, we will meet the academic and industry experts. So, if you ask me what are the main prospects or possibilities of the digital media startups, growing population. When I say growing population, it not only indicates the number of people of a specific country or a region, it is about the digital literacy rate of the people, those who are the potential users or readers of this platform. And second one is very important, that is localization of content. We know we have a trend to read or write in our vernacular languages. So if we have a 28 or 30 predominant languages in a country, we will have a tendency to publish the content in all the languages. So it increases the possibility of media startups in various languages, not only in English or Hindi. And hyperlocal news. This term hyperlocal is very key in the current media scenario, because the entire media spectrum is looking very key to the hyper-local segment now? And what are the main concerns or the challenges startup medias are facing? One is the sustainability and authenticity. Earlier I used the term of trust. Here we use the term as authenticity. What is the authenticity? Authenticity is the credibility of the media, and sustainability is the longevity. So our media startups are able to sustain, or are these readers are taking this media outlets into account? These are the two important questions. So sustainability and authenticity remain the biggest concern for the startup ventures. And the competitive tendencies and cost of the infrastructure are another two major factors, are the challenges our media startups face. And the next one is authenticating the information, how you are going to verify your information before you publish it. That is a very crucial question, and the type of fake news. So media startups are facing these kind of concerns, challenges, and this is just a tip of the iceberg, and we will have to go deeper and study more to find out what are the basic concerns and the challenges. And we are expecting to identify all the concerns or challenges of digital media startups, other than what we discussed, the one or two or three examples in the previous slide. And we will try to develop an economical and sustainable industry model for the digital media startup. And of course, to empower these startup news portals to run successfully for in a longer time. So these are the result we are expecting from this proposed study. So that's it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Muralidharan. That was a thought-provoking session and a thought-provoking case study presentation by you. Well presented. May I please request our esteemed session here and the other panelists to please ask the questions from our case presenter. Over to you.
Okay. Can I start? Okay. First of all, congratulations for the topic that, in my opinion, is really important in a global sphere. But my main concern is which are the cases you propose in this global case competition? Because I perceive that this is a research proposal, much elaborated, that is follow up, that follows a qualitative approach that I like particularly. But which are the cases you propose with the sampling method you suggest as a snowball sampling or purposely sampling? I don't understand how your case or your cases can be useful. Because I like the topic, I am very interested in understanding how digital media can solve problems like fake news or other concern. But please explain your case or your cases. Probably
Yeah, am I audible now? Yeah, thanks for the kind words, ma'am, first of all. And pardon me, basically, I was not very clear about the presentation of the case study and today's format. As you told, this is an ongoing research topic. So many studies are happening in this around this topic, and I have done a basic work here and presented my paper. As you said, it's a proposal, not a thorough studied paper or completed paper. It was a small communication error from the organizers and myself. I'm sorry for that, first of all. Thank you.
Congratulations, good luck for your very interesting research proposal that I hope to read in a leading journal.
Thanks, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, Muralidharan, I just want to ask a question.
Yeah.
Presentation but proposal. Can you mention any financial measure, any tool to measure the financial literacy in your proposal? Can you discuss about any financial tool? How
Sorry,
you're going to measure the financial literacy?
the question was not very clear for me. Could you please repeat?
My question is that can you measure any financial tool to measure literacy, financial literacy in our country? Is it audible now? Am I audible now?
Yeah. Actually, my study area, even though I didn't mention in the presentation or the abstract, my study area is the Kerala based Malayalam language. Basically. That is where I work for the past 16 years in the digital media industry. Yeah, could you please repeat the question, ma'am? Sorry, I missed the point.
My question was that when you're talking about financial literacy, so what are the ways by which we can measure financial literacy? Is there any tool to measure financial literacy as per your proposal?
If I'm not wrong, I haven't used the word financial literacy. I used the word digital literacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is approximately we have 3.5 crore people in Kerala, and according to the studies, 55% of the total population having the access to digital media, and we assume that we have half of the people have digital literacy.
Okay, so it is based on assumption.
It is not based on assumptions, it's based on the studies and based on various tools, including Cloud Tangle, Google Analytics, and the measures we use to number for online portals.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Murali.
Thanks, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Karan, you have not mentioned any source of information, or it is just proposal. It is a raw form of the proposal. It is not case study, in my opinion. Without any data or information, how you can say it is a case study? It is simply a proposal of the research, not the case study.
I admit, sir. I admit.
Thank you to all the panelists for guiding Muralidharan for his case study presentation. Thank you so much for your questions. We would like to move to our next presenter. Next up, we have Anaga. And Anaga, I hope you are here in the presentation and I'm playing your video. After that, you would be asked questions by the panelists. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Anakha Jain E. I am a PhD scholar in Times School of Media, Bennett University. So here I am going to present my paper on the status of online journalists in Kerala, issues and solutions. Well, as we all know, journalism is a profession that requires immense level of talent, skill and training. Multimedia journalism, it is the present and future of media industry. It is here to stay. It is the convergent media where all the conventional media meet the new technology, and multimedia journalists are people trained, equally skilled, equally talented as that of the media persons working in the conventional media platforms. So we all know that the media houses are investing largely on the digital and multimedia products. But still, are the web journalists treated equally as their counterparts in the conventional and the conventional media platforms like the print and broadcast? This is the question we are supposed to seek answer to. This is one of the existing problems in the media industry. In this study, I am going to investigate the status of online journalists in the Malayalam media industry. So, is there a disparity in the organizational and professional privileges enjoyed by the print broadcast journalists and the online journalists? What are the issues and how can we fix it? This is the basic, idea behind this research paper. Um, well, uh, there have been many studies regarding the professional status of journalists. You know, um, as professionals. Okay, so Winfield, in a study in 2008, has stated that news organizations have been all too willing to benefit from the journalism's professional status without treating journalists as professionals. The same is applicable to the online journalists of Kerala. Professionalization, as incomplete as project has been, was in was a significant historical accomplishment resulting from the significant discursive work by the journalists. They fought for it and they gained it. Even the conventional media journalists in one age. The same is the same has to be repeated by the web journalists to attain the same level of professional status as that of the conventional media persons. I mean, media persons working in the conventional media. McChesney in 2008 again has stated that journalists do not simply serve their employees, they serve the society. Professional status has connected the practitioner work to the public through the ethic of public service. Still, why are the online journalists facing such kind of disparity, kind of discrimination from that of the, at that of their counterparts in the conventional media forms? Okay. So let's look at the problem statement. Journalists working in the online media platforms experience inferior treatment both from the side of organization and from the side of society in comparison with their counterparts in the conventional media forms. What is the inferior treatment? That may be privileges and benefits being denied in comparison to the practitioners of conventional media. Maybe the exploitation, the work-based exploitation, work hours, wages, differences in wages. Um, uh, Two journalists, equally skilled, equally trained, and working equally with the same intention, if they with the same experience, maybe if they are regarded separate, and if they are given different benefits, different wage, and different status in the same organization, it is nothing other than discrimination. So, despite their skills and hard work in multimedia reporting, social promotions, and software application, online journalists are often denied of memberships in professional organizations and press clubs. This is one of the ground reality in Kerala. So, an online journalist actually does many more work, kinds of work that a normal media person do in a conventional media house. A multimedia reporter goes on the field, finds the story, reports the story, records video, takes photographs, comes back, writes the story down, gets the media edited, uploads it, and publishes it, and promotes it on social media platforms, and make sure that it reaches the audience. So this is a very huge amount of work being done by the multimedia journalists, and why they are still being treated inferior to the conventional the media persons working for conventional media. So this is one of the primary questions this research paper is seeking answer to. Not all the institutional and professional privileges enjoyed by the mainstream media are extended to the online journalists. So this situation has a very big impact on the work and on the working environment of the web journalists. That is also one of our prime concerns. Uh, this discrimination in the treatment is actually adversely affecting the performance, the working atmosphere, and the motivation of online journalists. Uh, there needs to be a sustainable solution for this disparity faced by the online journalists of Kerala. This study is intended at that sustainable solution, which is the expected outcome of this study. So now let's look at how we are going to, conduct this study. What are our tools? What is our methodology in conducting this study? About the status of online journalists in Kerala. The first of them being the surveys. There would be a survey being conducted among the online journalists, and their feedbacks would be collected. Then there would be interviews, expert interviews, interviews with the industrial experts and how they look at the problem and the prospective solutions to it. uh, Qualitative questionnaires being distributed among the online media practitioners, and their issues, their answers being recorded and analyzed in a qualitative manner. What are the problems, the general and institution specific problems they face, and what kind of solutions do they look forward to? Such things. Uh, these are some of the methodology I would like to employ in this study. So, what is the significance of the study? This study seeks to find a sustainable alternative to the discriminative paradigm in Malayalam media. This is the prime objective of the study. Online journalism is here to stay. It's an inclusive, broad platform where traditional media meet the new technology, as we said before. The practitioners of online journalism are journalists who deserve equal status, privileges, and dignity as that of their counterparts in the conventional media. They are equally trained and equally skilled, so they should be treated equally. So these are the methodologies we just spoke about: surveys, expert interviews, qualitative questionnaires, case studies. Why case studies? If an online journalist comes out to speak about one kind of discrimination they faced, and they wanted to and a professional hurdle they faced out of it, it is indeed a case study. Social media content analysis. There are many online journalists who came out and spoke. They described their feelings on social media about the kind of discrimination they face at press clubs and at the desks. So such posts, the content analysis of such posts, available posts, would be used in this study for qualitative and quantitative analysis. So, what is the expected outcome of the study? Um, what do we expect to get out of the study? General and organization specific issues faced by the online journalists of Kerala. To find a solution, we should first find the issue. What are the specific issues? What are the general issues faced by the media persons? Is the prime thing we are going to look at. And then an overview about the differences in wages, working hours, benefits, and other privileges extended to the web and broadcast and online journalists. The disparity, the difference that leads to discrimination needs to be looked at next. So, next is this. Yeah, and then inputs from selected good number of online journalists about the general and institution specific issues they face, including the cases of exploitations, harassments, etc. So these would be the responses collected from the online journalists. What kind of issues they face, and you know and the abuses and exploitations they face just because they are working for an online platform. Expert suggestions on how to solve the discrimination faced by the online journalists of Kerala. We would interview industry experts, academicians, and analysts, and get a practical solution for how to end this discrimination faced by the online journalists of Kerala. Inputs from the media persons to create an equal and harmonious environment for various media forms to coexist, and then most importantly a proposal to revisit the standards of organizations, boards, and clubs, for their memberships, that extend a protection and security feeling for the journalists, both at the desk and in the field. When the practitioners of conventional media forms enjoy all that privilege, all that security, and that organizational feeling, online media journalists are seldom considered a united force. They are not denied of such memberships. The standards of such memberships should be revisited on a particular criteria that we need to develop from the sustainable environment. So these are my expected outcomes from this study. Thank you for listening to me all these time. So on my suggestion is that online journalists are equal media persons. They are equally trained, equally skilled, and equally talented. If they face some kind of discrimination and disparity where in comparison to their counterparts in web or broadcast, it needs to be addressed, it needs to be solved at the earliest through a sustainable model that would not ever bring back this kind of discrimination to the web journalists. Thank you.
Very well presented, Anaka. That was quite a stimulating case study presentation, and a lot of insights we have received. I'm sure the panelists is quite ready to ask questions to you. So over to the esteemed panelists.
Okay. For me, it's like the previous presentation that I presume that this is a research proposal, not a case study. So I like the topic. It's very important, but this is not a case. Initially, I supposed that the case was online journalists as a category. So it would be better, but really it's not how I supposed. So I don't know. It's a very important topic, but this is not a case.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, ma'am. As like the previous presenter had mentioned, it was a case of miscommunication. Like I thought that I was supposed to present my research proposal, but in the time to submit my paper, I assure you that I would do an intense study on this, and because I had been working as a web journalist for the last 6 years, and I developed this paper from my own experience. I was discriminated so very well at the place of covering a program at a press club, and I was I had to think academically about it rather than just reacting like this, because I don't need a localized solution, but I needed a sustainable solution for the issue, not only myself but my colleagues. And because I am a web journalist, I took up web journalism as a passion. I just didn't pick up web journalism as a job. So I don't want such people to be discriminated anymore. So in the time, if I get to submit for the full paper, I assure you I would conduct a very good case study and come up with a comprehensive paper. I did not know that I was supposed to present the full paper here.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Agana, as you just quoted some statement of problem.
Okay.
So these are your observations or on the basis of some research?
Yeah, like I had observed it while I was working there, and then I talked to many of my previous colleagues and the present colleagues who are there in the web media and traditional media for a long time. I worked in an organization in Kerala which is a media conglomerate. They have like a newspaper, they have broadcast channels, radio stations, and the web. But the privileges, the institutional privileges and the legal protections and everything extended to the journalists from the press and broadcast are not being extended to the web journalists. I think it's because of the expansion of citizen journalism with the advent of social media. Anyone and everyone is regarded as a web journalist. It is good. Any practitioner of journalism should be considered a journalist itself, I would say. But in an institutional structure, the journalists working for different media handles should not be discriminated on that basis. That is why I observed it, talked to the experts, and found out there exists, the discrimination even on the papers. That is why I came up with such a study.
But in my opinion, the problem statement should be based on some literature review, not on only the observation based. It should include the literature review, means previous studies, not only on the basis of observations.
Okay, I had included 2 literature reviews, but it was international, not yeah. In the full paper, I
paper or
promised
case
you.
study, only 2 papers are not sufficient.
Yeah, that's true, sir. I admit it.
Study more.
In the full paper, I would do it in the best manner I can.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, panelists, and thank you so much, Ananka. Wish you good luck for your future case study presentation.
Thank you.
Okay. Coming up with another scholar, Ms. Stuti Jain. I hope Stuti Jain, you are here and would like you to request you to please switch on your camera after we are done with your presentation. Thank you.
Good morning to one and all present here. So, my name is Stuti Jain. I'm a student of MBIB second year, Amet University, Noida campus. So, I'll be talking about the case HR Analytics for Organization Excellence, Cases and Best Practices. I'll be talking about the introduction first. In HR Analytics is the collection and application of talent data to improve critical talent and businesses outcome. It is leaders enable HR leaders to develop a data-driven insight to improve talent decisions, improve workforce processes, and promote positive employee experience. Secondly, HR analytics is a subset of analytics that refers to applying a different techniques to a company's human resource department in the hopes of improving work performance and generating a higher return on investment. Then, thirdly, HRM has evolved throughout the last century. It has transitioned from an operational to a more strategic discipline. Fourth, HR analytics is a study of a company's personal issues. Uses of HR analytics. HR analytics is an ever changing, just like marketing analytics has changed the marketing industry. It enables HR analytics to make better data driven decisions, develop a business case for HR actions, evaluate the success of these efforts, make the transition from an operational to a tactical or even strategic partner. Then, HR analytics every manager should know about. Individuals are supposed to carry a firm of any success of any firm. There's any company that can attract the right talent, manage capability effectively, use resources efficiently, and retain employees in setting itself up for the long term success. Analytical capabilities. First, the level of ability and expertise of your personnel determines the success of your company. Ability investigation is a method used by executives to identify the capacity or core competencies that they require in their business. Second is analytics for acquiring skills. So the ability counts and recruiting and retaining leaders for ability is typically a key component in determining how well or frequently your company acquires the desired abilities. First, recruiting and selection, longevity, evaluation and training, marketing, employee productivity, planning, monetary recompense, injuries and health, HR software role in analytics. HR analytics advantages enhance authoritative execution by making clever ability related decisions. Second, for better business executions forecast, staff requirements and use. Third is different gifts are optimized by improving and arranging them. Fourth is identifying the primary motivation for weakening and identifying high esteem employees for removal. Ensure that the associations have a steady study of targeted stage. Fifth is manage candidates for more efficiently based on their abilities for a certain role. Sixth is recognize the factors that influence representative satisfaction and profitability. And seventh is to determine the business people KPIs following HR to demonstrate its contribution to achieving corporate goals. And talking about the certain importance of HR analytics, first is collecting the right data, complete data cleaning, analytical techniques in action, re-engagement, analytics in attribution, optimization, forecasting the workforce, and takeaways. Then there are certain companies right now using the HR analytics, but I'll cover the most top four successful companies using HR analytics. Firstly, I'll be talking about the Google. Google is using HR analytics. Second is Microsoft, then Juniper Network, then fourth is Walmart. Then we're talking about the implications HR analytics is facing right now. So workforce analytics aid in addressing workforce challenges. Analytics can assist with proactive HR strategy and management. Third is the HR professional can further their capabilities using HR analytics. Then they were talking about the research methodology. The research conducted on the topic HR analytics for organization excellence. It was completely a secondary research done by collecting the data from different sources like websites, blog, articles, and different research papers. Then I'll be talking about the conclusion. Big data analysis has emerged as the new force in the modern HR management, thanks to its deep insight and precise predictions. Employees who apply this strategy save time and money on hiring decisions while increasing employee engagement, productivity, and retention. Organizations that use data analytics, on the other hand, make more valuable decisions for themselves, optimizing earnings and assuring long term success. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stuti, for your presentation. It was wonderful and on a case topic was wonderfully presented. Thank you so much, Stuti. To our panelists, Professor Flores and Professor Dinesh Kumar, sir, you may please ask questions. Thank you.
I've the same concerns as the previous presenters, of the previous presentations. Also, in this case, I appreciated the presentation, very clear, but I don't understand which is your case, which are your data, and how can conclude that HR analytics are useful. I don't understand. I think that this is your research proposal about a paper, about another study. Is it clear? Is it here?
Okay, so it's all about HR analytics, and it's a case on HR analytics that organizations are doing right now. They are more into HR analytics that we should come up with the like HR analytics should be applied in the organizations. So it's all about that.
Ms. Shruti, I am also agreed with Professor Flores. But it is not a case, it is simply a proposal, not even a research paper. So you have to study how to write a case before writing.
That is
okay. A very good topic. You can do a lot of things in this. So try to just read more and try to just prepare a good case in future. Thank you.
Okay, sure, sir. Thank you for the feedback.
right. I just want to add something to Professor Dinesh. Absolutely right, sir. Stuti, it is a good idea. It's a good topic, and but yes, not much work has been done on it. So it's a request that you complete your work and you prepare a proper case study, and then you submit it to us. Because it is not, we are not able to find out the, although it's a good work, you have done good work, we're not able to find out the exact concept which you want to share with us. Right?
Sure, ma'am. I'll definitely work on it and I'll resubmit that. Thank you.
Ria, you are mute.
Thank you, Professor Flores. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Stuti, for your presentation. Congratulations once again, and thank you, panelists. Next up, we have Mr. Gaurav Malik, who would be presenting the case study presentation. Gaurav, I hope you are there, and you will be requested to switch on your camera once your presentation is over. Thank you.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you very much. Respected faculties and my dear friends, wishing a very warm greeting to all of you. My name is Gaurav Malik, a student of MBA IB from Amity University, Noida, and I'm hereby presenting my research paper on artificial intelligence and its role in the recruitment process. The objective of this research paper is to study the role of artificial intelligence in HR and how it has affected the contemporary recruitment process. This study is qualitative in nature and is based on the secondary research. The detailed study of the contemporary recruitment process is done in order to evaluate the pros and cons of AI in HR. Starting with the introduction of AI, it is basically a branch of science that deals with building smart devices capable of performing tasks that require human intelligence. It is being used in order to increase efficiency, save time, etc. A few examples of AI include Amazon Alexa, Apple Siri, Tesla's autonomous cars, etc. Uses of AI. Presently, AI is being used at a number of places, including online shopping platforms, translating languages, autonomous vehicles, recommendation of OTT platforms, etc. Applications of AI in HR. AI is one of the greatest innovations which is helping people all over the world. Specifically in HR, it can help the HR manager in saving time and resources by delivering the results as and when required. But it must be kept in mind that AI tools are currently being used only by specialists who knows how to operate it. In order to get the desired outcome, one must be familiar with the processes required, as AI will do whatever its user would want it to do. Moving forward, AI can help in transforming the HR department in a lot of ways. It includes talent acquisition, as the user can enter the right set of keywords to get the desired candidates. It can also help in screening candidates, scheduling interviews, etc. Orientation of new employees. The new employees can be made aware of the organization and their job roles using the AI-based frameworks. Preparing and upskilling the employees. The AI frameworks will keep track of employees' performance and prepare him accordingly as per the requirement of the organization. It can enhance the employee experiences by delivering all the answers to their queries on an immediate basis and by delivering the correct information. It can also help in projecting the leadership for the future by keeping track of the employee's performance and making sure that the right person gets selected without any biases. There are a lot of advantages of AI, such as it helps in increasing the effectiveness and efficiency of the HR department. It eliminates human biases while selecting for the candidates. It helps in improving candidate experience while interacting with the organization. But there are certain downsides to it as well. For example, there can be issues with the accuracy and dependability of the software. It reduces the human judgment because it can find a candidate who is good on paper but can't really justify if he is a good fit for the organization or not. Keeping that in mind, the use of AI for recruitment, HireView is one of the companies which has managed to do it quite successfully. It is based out of Western United States and is taking care of all the hiring needs of its clients. It specializes in video interviews, pre-employment tests, talent management, etc. HireView helps in saving the time and resources of its clients by delivering the perfect candidates as per the requirement of the profiles. It has more than 180 clients, which include Unilever, Vodafone, Kraft Heinz, etc. There are a few challenges that one can face while implementing AI in HR. These include the AI tools as of now requires people with specific skills. Not everyone can use them and extract the best results. There is also a sense of safety threat because of which the organizations do not want to trust the AI completely with the confidential data. The AI tools and machines can be very expensive and time consuming to maintain. Also, people tend to draw in because of their interaction with a human being. Interacting with a machine can make a person feel unvalued. In the end, it can be stated that AI provides a lot of value to the organization and very soon the traditional HR practices are going to fade away. It is because it helps in the reduction of costs, saves time and increases productivity. Employee engagement gets better and almost all of the departments can use AI to make the most out of it. Keeping that in mind, one must make sure that the AI tools are customized adequately in order to cater to the needs of the organization, which can help in eliminating data loss and security threats. It is believed that AI will turn out to be a game changer only if proper precautions will be taken during its application. This concludes my presentation. My name is Gaurav Malik and I have completed this project under the guidance of Dr. Shikha Kapoor. Please feel free to ask in case you have any questions. A sincere thanks to all of you.
Yes, Mr. Malik.
Yes.
Can you
afternoon, sir.
explain how the use of AI just differentiate the traditional recruitment process or this advanced recruitment process? How the time has reduced? You didn't mention in your presentation. Means you mentioned various advantages or disadvantages, but you have not mentioned the process, the how it will reduce the time or energy, and you didn't mention that it will increase the cost also.
Sir, thank you for the feedback. First of all, sir, as of now, we know that during the current recruitment processes, the use of HR manager is basically, he logs into the software, he tries to find out various candidates using various online portals. So that is quite a lot of time consuming. And in certain cases, it has been seen that various biases can also be there while selecting for a particular candidate. But just in case if AI is applicable, so it the biases or the human biases, as we all know, will be completely eliminated. Apart from that, the HR manager will not be completely focusing on the recruitment part in that case, and it will because AI will take care of the recruitment in that case, so that will be
This is your
helping.
hypothesis, or this is on the basis of some data? You have not just showing any data. This is your hypothesis, maybe.
Yes, this is basically a hypothesis, sir. I
Because
haven't really.
if AI has reduced the time, so some data means how much time, 20%, 30%, or in which process and how. So you didn't mention any process data, and you are claiming it will reduce the energy and time. It will smoothen the recruitment process. So it is. I think it is your hypothesis.
Actually, sir, I'll certainly keep your feedback in mind, and I'll definitely improve my research paper on that. And after doing the proper research, I'll submit it to you once again.
Gaurav, I think you are doing PhD.
No, sir, I'm currently a student of MBA IB in Amity University, Noida.
Okay, so this is related with your project work, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So Gaurav, rightly suggestion by Dr. Dinesh that you have to incorporate the number of things, right, for your further research. So
Yes, sir.
kindly incorporate as suggested by the Dr. Dinesh.
Sure, sir. I'll certainly keep the feedback in mind.
Thank you so much, panelists. Thank you so much, Gaurav Malik, for your presentation. Good wishes for you. Thank you. Next candidate, we have Aditi Dhamma, who will be presenting her presentation. I hope, Aditi, you are here. You would be requested to switch on your camera once your presentation is over. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Aditi Rama, faculty in Amity School of Fashion Technology, Amity University, Greater Noida campus. And today I am presenting my case study on Uyghurs of Kumaon region in the state of Uttarakhand, India. Let's start with the background information. Kumaon is a region in Uttarakhand, India. They are the two main regions in Uttarakhand, one in Garhwal and another one in Kumaon. There are the 6 other districts of Kumaon areas like Almora, Pithodgarh, Nainital, Champawat, Bageshwar, Udham Singh Nagar, and it has a remote boundaries touching the neighboring countries like China, Tibet, and Nepal. This place is also famous for a tourist attraction for its natural beauty, and Almora is considered the cultural capital of the Kumaon region. The locally speaking languages are Hindi and Kumaoni. Culturals also play a huge role in the region's economy, and another important support to the economy of this region provided by the handloom industry. About the weavers community, weaving is one of the traditional arts that connect the people of the hilly areas. And traditionally they use waist and the pit looms, but there is a limitation in the width of the fabric. And some of them are operating with the foot operating spinning wheels or dog spindle for the specific products. And this place is famous for the woolen fabrics. It also produces cotton and the silk products like caps, sweaters, socks, scarf, mufflers, shawls, and the carpets. As you can see the image on the bottom left, a lady is involved in making a pashmina shawl. on the loom. This is the hand loom. And the image on the right side is the product. It's a pure silk stole. About the weavers community, in the weavers communities, there's a huge, if you see the community base like the bhotias, roms, kols that carry the traditional knowledge of the weaving, and there's the other subcaste like Shoka, Dhamya, Johri, March, Chola, Jad. These are the huge community base that are involved in the traditional practice of the weaving. And these traditional weavers spend the winters in weaving the cloth, and then they travel to other areas in the summer to sell their product in different fairs and tourism areas of the state. And this is basically famous for their pashmina shawls and the carpets. This community of the Kumaus, they are famous for the pashmina shawls and the carpets. But apart from this pashmina shawl and the carpets, there are the other product categories as well. Like the shawls and the stalls are famous among the craft enthusiasts and the tourists from all over the world. And these shawls are made up of super fine wool of Angora rabbit. If we talk about the materials, in the materials they use superfine wool and silk. The warm wool and the long fiber come from the high altitude regions, but they have a limitation in the coloring part because they use the natural dyes. Yes, for their products they use the natural dyes. They extract the dyes from the plants such as pomegranate skin, kapal leaves, kilmodes, but there is a limitation in the color palette, like the color is limited to pink, brown, and yellow. And the Shoka community is the one community in the Kumau area that has this skill of using the natural. Talk about the product. There are the three products on my screen. If you see the product on the left side, it's a deep tan sheep wool jacket. The product in the center is indigo dyed wool jacket, and the product on the right side is the shawl made up of pashmina wool. The next is about the government and the non-profit organization support. The state unit, Uttarakhand Sheep and Wool Department Board, manages various activities of the handloom industry. They provide various services to sheep farmers for the industrial growth. Then another scheme is provided by KVIP, that is Khadi and Village Industry Board, and it has a setup of a wool bank. It provides various kind of wool to manufacture different kinds of woolen product. And this KVIP promotes hand spinning and helps the individual to use charkhas at home. The another scheme of the Deen Dayal Hathkarga Yojana is another government initiative. And the Government Design Center in Kashipur helps the traditional weavers to learn the modern technologies and latest design. The next scheme of Uttarakhand Handloom and Handicraft Development Council, UHHDC, they provides a platform for the interaction between the producer and the buyer, creator and the enthusiast. It aims at generating sustainable employment opportunities by promoting specialized product for commercialization. And the last non-profit organization is Amani Craft. Yes, this one non-profit organization is also working and helping the community in developing a sustainable model for the handloom industry. They train the local people with the new styles and they provide the necessary equipment to carry out the work. They also use solar panels to store the solar energy, and they are also using several methods for the rainwater harvesting. So they are working and they are helping the industry to develop a sustainable model for the handloom industry. And if you ask me about the client model, as we all know that the handloom industry, the handloom products are also becoming the new fashion statement which draws the youth towards it. And beside the domestic demand, the local textile product of this area, the Kumau area, they have the global demand in the countries like USA, in Japan. The trade happens through the online system or through the state or privately organized exhibitions and the fairs. The government and the non-profit organizations are continuously working with the communities involved in the traditional weaving to revive their handloom industry, and they are also providing the easy trading platform that brings the buyers and the seller together that would help the industry to become a self-reliant. So with the help of the combined effort of government and different profitable and non-profitable organizations and the weaving community, it has become a sustainable, self-sustainable model. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Ms. Aditi. Well presented. And over to our panelist, Professor Flores. If you have a question, you may please ask. Thank you.
Yes, I believe that this case is interesting in a global perspective, but also in this case, which are the data to support your conclusion, and what is your research question? Why do you analyze this particular industry? In which sense, and which are the data about it, about you put your conclusion?
Hello, a warm good afternoon to all the panelists. This
Sorry,
project,
but
I'm working with designer
I
Manish
don't
Tripathi.
hear.
He is the member of KVIP, Khadi and Village Board. Hello, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, Ms. Aditi, you are absolutely audible. It's just that the voice is still echoing. If there is a nearby,
Yeah, there is some network issue
yeah,
from my end. Yes.
if there is some other device over there, so
Yes.
just keep it on mute.
Could you
So it
please
will not.
repeat the question?
Yes, have you some data to sustain your conclusion? And why do you choose this particular topic? And which is what are your research questions?
Ma'am, basically, we are working for this community. We are reviving the traditional Indian art and craft culture because Indian is known for its rich and traditional culture of art and craft. So we are closely working and monitoring the working pattern, the working condition of this community, and we are working to provide the base because they are nowadays they are also working on the hand looms, especially the pit looms and the waist looms. So they don't have the working conditions. And because of that, there is a limitation in the width of the product because they are developing the shawls and the scarves. Again, the width is very limited. So we are providing the platform. I am working with the designer Manish Tripathi. He is a member of Khadi and Village Industry Board. So we are working and we are incorporating the design solution for the product. And you are also trying to get some fund from the government to provide looms, the power looms to this community. And from my side, I would also like to incorporate because they are using the natural darkness is very poor. The color will bleed. So you have to use the fixers or you have to use some salts or mods to fix the color. So we are incorporating all the technologies, all the designing parts from our end, along with the designer. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Aditi, you have just presented well, and I think it is a very good overview of handloom industry of Kumayu region, but not it is a case study. Means as Professor Flores has suggested you, means questions are missing, methodology, data that are missing. It is a very good overview, informative overview of the handloom industry of the Kumayu. But some things are missing, so you should incorporate all these things and
So
again
we are
present
still working on the project.
all the
We are
best.
still
Yes.
All the
working on the project, and I'll take your feedback. We'll work on this.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Thank
Aditi,
you
you
so
have
much.
to just add your
Thank you
work.
for your valuable suggestions.
Yes, Miss Aditi, you have to incorporate the remaining things as suggested by the Michaela Flores ma'am and Dr. Dinesh Sharma, and just incorporate it with as project. You are saying that you are doing some project with them, so you have to incorporate this all suggestions in your project work also. Right?
Right, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, right, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you to the jury members for your vital suggestions. And all the best to Aditi for her future endeavors. Next student and next scholar we have is Irish Jain, who will be presenting the presentation. I hope Irish is present here and would be requested to switch on the camera once the presentation is over. Good luck, Irish.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello everyone, I am Irish Ran from ASFT AUGN Greater Noida. So the topic of my case study is sustainable manufacturing and luxury fashion. So let me first introduce you to the topic. The manufacturing sectors are rising and getting advanced due to which
You can remove your mask. I think you are alone in this room, so you can.
So that they can cope up with the challenge.
Actually, Dr. Vinod, this is the video presentation.
Now let us know what is slow fashion. Slow fashion is the opposite of fast fashion. It encompasses an awareness and approach to fashion that considers the processes and resources required to make clothing. It advocates for buying better quality garments that will last longer and values fair treatment of people, animals, and the planet along the way. Realistically, slow fashion and sustainable or ethical fashion have a lot of similarities. They are sister movements and follow the same general guidelines. So, what's eco design and the 6 R's in fashion? Taking environmental impacts into consideration during the production and manufacturing process is known as eco design. Eco design not only improves the environmental outcomes, it can also reduce your cost in the long term. Many consumers are trying to think of the environment and sustainability when they buy things. They are thinking of green issues. Designers and manufacturers are required by law to try to reduce the environmental impact of the products they create. 6 keywords summarizes approaches that can be taken by the consumer, the designer, the manufacturer, and the retailer. Reduce, refuse, recycle, rethink, reuse, and repair. These are some of the approaches showing sustainable fashion. So we conclude that some sustainable methods and techniques such as eco-design and recycling can well fit fashion manufacturing companies, and the LCA can help designers in defining the characteristics of the product. The issue of sustainability in fashion, to which consumers are becoming more and more sensitive, is highly relevant nowadays. And fashion companies generally pay more attention in respecting the environment than in the past. The idea of slow fashion corresponds to the one at the core of slow food and slow factory, defining another context in which the slow approach can have a positive meaning that merits analysis and investigation. Further research is required to better evaluate which aspects and methods can make fashion priorities more sustainable.
I think the intro part was kept in the video.
Please allow me a few minutes to. Yes, I would again share the screen. Professor Flores, can you please confirm if you can see the screen?
Sorry?
If you can you please confirm if you can see the screen?
Okay. Also, in this case, I don't see any case study, and I think that this is a very good overview about the fashion industry in a sustainable way. The relevance is indisputable, but at the same time, I think that this is not a case study. So I don't know. For example, it lacks a research question, a methodology. So I don't know. I suggest you to better focus your analysis, shifting from a descriptive perspective approach to an interpretive approach. identifying a specific case to sustain your conclusion. That I agree with your conclusion, but it lacks from data and a really empirical analysis.
Yes, ma'am, I agree.
Same from my side. Same observation as Professor Flores.
Okay, thank you so much to the RGV members, and thank you, Irish. Good luck for your future presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next scholar we have Mohammed Shabi, who will be presenting the case presentation, and I'm playing the video. After that, Shabi, you will please switch on your camera for the question answer round. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed Chavez from Amity University, Greater Noida, and my topic for the case study is emerging trends in fashion marketing. So firstly, let me introduce you with the topic. Fashion has spread out its uniqueness and art worldwide, and it's a common way of describing a person. And now retailers are generating more businesses in this growing segment. Style advertising is the procedure of analyzing, developing, and advertising present style tendencies in marketing strategies. Fashion retailers can identify the target buyer and know how to market clothes to these groups. They are a link between designers and their customers. The fashion retail manufacturing has transformed quickly due to the growth in the official trading sector and the increasing awareness of fashion among new generation of India. The retail clothing market has also undergone major changes and created an opportunity for growth for both Indians and foreign brands. Proceeding to the next, developing trend and sellers in fashion retailing. The growing trends in fashion retailing are contributing to the financial progress in India. Changes in consumer behavior towards shopping and lifestyle, rising income levels, and new generation of customers are supporting the growth of fashion transaction in India. The fashion clothing industry of the world is the greatest important sectors in India in terms of revenue, investment and skill and work formation. The ability of fashion retailers to complement the latest fashion appearances of the factory base is of paramount importance now as fashion styles and trends change with increasing speed and promptness. The increase of fashion leanings in India has risen the arrangement of products in the retail industry. Fashion apparel is the most lucrative sector in terms of growth in the Indian retail industry, not because of its volume but as a way to change the lifestyle of Indian Gen X consumers. So here are some factors that help in promoting the apparel fashion industry in India. First one is growth in median family income, growing trends for special occasions, development of women's empowerment, self-expression, rapid urbanization and modernization, sustainable development of organized retail, and spread of fashion innovators. Proceeding to the next, what is the role of technology in fashion retailing? So fashion retailers are adopting technology to hold and appeal clients and achieve global competitiveness. The technology facilitates customer engagement, product selection ease, customization, promotional materials, loyalty gains, and management of customer relationships. The technological breakthrough has helped fashion apparel retailers achieve global competitiveness and growth stability. Visibility of objects, digital retailing, sales space, security, promotion, and commerce and online retailing. So, coming to the conclusion, the future of fashion retailing in India. So, over the past decade, fashion and design has evolved into a serious career choice with continuous upgrades and innovations in courses, opportunities, and technology. The administration supports the clothing industry by funding fashion shows and promoting fashion events for the overall development and promotion of the fashion industry. With the rapidly evolving fashion and design empire, there is a need to prepare and train future fashion leaders through education. Retail companies such as Raymond, Levi's, Arvind Brands, Mathura Garments, etc. has achieved brand equity by adding more MBOs, EBOs, and LFS to its retail operations. At the same time, apparel retailers have to look for some attractive potential customers. Many domestic and international marketers are now focusing on this segment of society. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shavi, for your presentation. It was a great presentation. And if we have any questions from our panelists, they may please ask.
This is again a overview of the fashion industry. And can you elaborate what is the difference between average income or median family income? You have mentioned somewhere median family income. By median family income?
Shavi, I
Savaj,
think
you are
you are
mute.
here.
Hello?
Uh, yeah, we can hear you now. Yes, please. Please answer the
Sir,
question.
sir, the median income is the income amount that divides a population into two equal groups, half having an income above the amount and and half having an income below that amount.
Okay. And then how it is different from average?
Savaj, your voice is not clear.
How it median family income is different from average family income?
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes.
So please come again.
How it is different from average income?
Average income.
Okay, no problem. It is just overview of the fashion industry, and you have not mentioned any source of information. You have mentioned that the growth is very high, something blah blah, but it is simply overview, not the case study. You have to incorporate the data and sources of data. This is my suggestion for you. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank
I
you
agree with
so
the
much.
colleague. I agree.
Thank
This
you,
is
panelists, for your.
my concern.
Yes, yes, we agree. Thank you so much for your important feedback to our scholar. Good luck to Mohammed Shabi. Thank you. Before we start on with, it's just to inform that this is the last presentation of our global case competition. And after that, I would please request our profound jury session chair, Professor Flores and Professor Dr. Dinesh Kumar Sharma, to please give concluding remarks on the case study presentation. So after we complete this, the team is over to you. Divyanshu, I hope Divyanshu Suchdeva is here and I am presenting his case presentation. Thank you.
Greetings of the day to everyone. Devanshu Sachdeva, Amity College, Commerce and Finance, Amity University, graduate on the campus, 6th semester. And today, the topic of my presentation is Role of Finance in Women Empowerment. What does it mean? Women empowerment, we all know, upliftment women, upliftment of their social standards and political and in all the horizons. How we can uplift women, our women in terms of microfinance, how microfinance is actually changing the horizon and the domain. Let us understand the presentation and the perspective behind the topic. Microfinance and microfinance and women empowerment is not a new terminology. The terminology has been in the in the market from a long time. But are we using that term? Are we actually using that specific needs to fulfill the demand of our women? Are we actually contributing to the much level that our women needs to be secure to meet social standards of our nation and of our society? Are the women living in the rural India are still able to meet that much level which can microfinance is able to meet up now? If we can understand this terminology uh, one decade ago or one decade previous, then the situation must be very changing and a very positive outlook we can see today in terms of rural India and the women empowerment upliftment, especially in rural India women. When we coined this term microfinance with women empowerment, we generally means them, empowering them socially and societally and to making them reach in terms of providing them all the necessities they need to upskill them by providing them finances and everything. Microfinance and the role including in microfinance is not big. We let us take an example. If we all take loan, what do we all do? Guess, please all guess it. What do we all do when we all need to take a loan? We go to bank, we go to any private institution, nearby city or university only, and we just fill a form. The requirement, for example, we need a loan of 5 lakh. We just fill the form, and the loan is with the necessary documentation. The loan is sanctioned. So that's the same process microfinance is doing in terms of women empowerment. Microfinance is helping the women in rural India especially to uplift them to meet their requirements in terms of giving them the new opportunity to explore and to create and to reinvent the new, providing them the resources. Banks of India, Pradhan Mantri Yojana. These are the several few examples that are almost running in India from the past few years. And more than this, there are a lot of examples we can see in India are working actual reality, which are changing the dimensions and all the things of microfinance as women empowerment. Microfinance in social empowerment. What that means? When we take social plays a very important role because all we are human beings, we totally depend upon how our society treats us. If we are successful, our society makes us more comfortable. We have a place, we have a confidence, we have a new thought process in the changing world. Same goes in microfinance and into the women empowerment. When when those rural women are uplifted, are skilled, getting labor, getting with time to time getting reinvented with new skills. Obviously, the new upliftment, new conflicts, new things are taking place. And these things are really needed to make a new India, as said by our Prime Minister Shri Narendra. If we really need to make that India so big, microfinance is just a very small step towards it. But as the saying goes, small and small steps lead to a greater heights. All need to contribute our success, our small baby steps to this microfinance and making this a global success, especially the developing nation like India. Mobility among the women, the mobility within and outside the local communities is really a need of an hour. When we talk about education, upskilling, and training development, according to some UN reports and according to the Ministry of Education as well, in India, women are not able to get up to much level of education. And when I talk about women, I especially talking about the rural women because the women which are generally in cities are able to attract more opportunity as compared to the rural women. And when we are seeing those women, the background comes to like whether they're not financially stable, whether the family is not supporting them, or extra reason due to they are not getting into the much education area, much training which they actually needs to have to uplift them, to upskill them, and to train them better to create a better world for themselves and for the world. So, what does that mean with microfinance? Microfinance is not just a term and it's not just a thing to rely upon. Microfinance is a whole in it itself for women to complete its everything in terms of societal standards, in terms of nationwide, and everything she wants to achieve. Microfinance in political environment. Look at a political stability. When we look at to a parliament policies, when we look at to the seats, the top seats are competed by women, then the person is very big. And what does that mean? And what does that signifies basically? Because of the lack of interest, actually not. It's basically because of the participation. Participation and from where participation come when women are doing this thing, when they are including these things. So microfinance and the microfinance stability creates a new thinking process, creates a new horizon, create a new dimension of arena of things into the women empowerment which they need to know and which are their rights to know and to follow in the betterment and to the development of the nation. So when it comes to RBI, Reserve Bank of India, that's the controlling organization of finances of the India. So there are some regulation on the microfinance. So these are some regulation which household borrowers in rural India women needs to take upon and the Grameen banks or the bank needs to follow upon while regulating these money, while circulating this money into the cycles. So the conclusion. How can we conclude the microfinance and women empowerment? When we think about this type of situations are still in India, when we actually need finance to support our women, do we really need that? Or how can we uh, just ignore this fact that till today India is not able to meet up that requirement its women needed to encourage, to empower herself and to give the actual rights and to give the actual heights the nation needs from their women. Microfinance is just a step to make them know how they are make a difference into the society through their skills, through raising the bar of standards, education level, and meeting the needs of society, nation, and making them and giving them the new future of India and future of Make in India. Thank you so much. And here we concluded the presentation microfinance and the role and its development in the women empowerment and its upliftment.
Very well presented, Mr. Divyanshu. And the panelists, it's over to you to ask some questions, please.
Yes, Divyanshu, you have presented well, but you again missed the data. Means without data, how you can explain the microfinance? Means it is not even overview of the microfinance. Without showing the, without quoting any data, means size of microfinance, growth in microfinance in India or in developed or developing other countries, how you can just present your case in case in on the microfinance, and you are just presenting its empowerment to the women, means without showing any data what is the current situation or what was the 10 years back, and there is no means data showing which the growth of the microfinance. So it needs some data so you can present your case very well, or means growth should be there, or without data you cannot show the growth. So my suggestion is incorporate the data. Thank you.
Divyanshu Sachdeva. Mr. Divyanshu Sachdeva, as per rightly said by Dr. Dinesh, and you are the commerce student and going to be commerce graduate, this is essential for you to take a lot of knowledge about the microfinance, right? This will help you in your future dreams, right? So kindly incorporate all the suggestions as mentioned by Dr. Dinesh regarding the same.
Sure, sir, I will.
Yeah, I agree with my colleagues, and I add that your presentation is rich in literature. So it's a very interesting presentation about the opportunities of microfinance for women. So my compliments, because it's very interesting. But in this case, it lacks of case study that with the data can sustain your conclusion, or better enhance something that the literature has already told in order to build new theory. Congratulations, good luck for your very interesting field of research. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you for the feedback.
Thank you so much, panelists, and good luck, Divyanshu. Well presented. All the best for future. And we come to the end of our global case competition. They were surely very informative research proposals, as said by our panelists, and some insightful case studies that were presented. There's a lot of scope in these proposals and case studies, as guided by our very renowned panelists and session chairs, to the case presenters. Now, I may please request our profound jury members to give their insights about case studies and what aspects students can incorporate in regards to global perspective. It would be great if we can hear your views, Professor Flores and Professor Dr. Dinesh Kumar Sharma, your views on the insights that the scholars can incorporate in terms of global perspective. Over to you. Thank you.
In a general sense, in a broad sense, I appreciate the topic, the stating of the presentations. But in general, I observed that data is missing. And this is very important to underscore the relevance of the case study chosen. This is the main lack that I've noted. And because without data, also the potential of recommendation about the case that the case can offer is difficult to sustain. So I suggest scholars and students to frame their presentation starting from the research design, the data, the methods, the process of the research, but above all, focusing on the case and how the case chosen can offer something new respect to the literature that we already know. So this is the main suggest that I think that it has been done in this case.
Thank you, Professor Flores. We truly agree that there is a lot of scope that our scholars can incorporate in the case studies. Thank you so much. Over to you, Professor Dinesh.
Yes, I agreed with Professor Flores. Means data is missing in all cases, and one of my suggestion is we can just give some broad structure of the case before inviting the case proposal or case study. So it may be better in the future because the structure of the case study presented by the scholars is missing. Means the means presentation was not in that case format. His format is missing. Means so we can provide the broad structure of the case, means which type of content we required, so they can just we can say present in the same manner, so it will be easy to evaluate the case studies also. Because if having the same parameters or contents in the all presentation, so it is very easy to presenter to conclude which one is better and how much it is better and in what way it is better. So in future we can just provide the broad structure, not the means it is suggested, not exactly the case should be, but it may be suggested structure to the scholars in future. Otherwise it is okay. And from my side it is very means thankful to the organizing team, especially Professor Vikas Garg and Riya Ghai madam for inviting me for this very prestigious university, Amity University. It is a global case study competition, and all the best for the all events, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much, Professor, for your insightful remarks. I'm sure the scholars will definitely incorporate and come up with a wonderful case studies ahead. Thank you. Coming towards the end is a vote of thanks by our very profound dignitary, Dr. Vikas Garg, who is Assistant Director, Executive Program Management Domain. And I may please request Vikas sir to say vote of thanks for our dignitaries, to all the scholars who have presented and did a lot of hard work. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Riya Ghai ma'am. And the thank you very much to our renowned Professor Michaela Flores, Professor Dr. Dinesh Kumar Sharma, PhD Chamber of Commerce, and all the participants who participate in this conference. The INBUSH, this is the 22nd time we are hosting this event, and the global case study is the part of the INBUSH. Right. So, firstly, thank you very much for the session. And the session was very informative and inspiring for our students, research scholars. And through the time, we can understand this is very little short, yet all the relevant key points were well covered by our jury members. So we sincerely appreciate the efforts you left on the young minds by your words of wisdom. Amity is so proud and privileged to have the support of academicians like you to help us in the building, modeling, and nurturing the building careers of our scholars in the correct direction. So may we take this opportunity to extend our warmest wishes to you once again. and hope this will continue to have many more associations together in the time to come. And after the pandemic, like if we are talking about the South Asian country, then the pandemic is going to be over. So we will incorporate the next our conferences in the offline mode, and we will like to invite you in the Amity. Thank you very much, professors.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
May I please request now all the panelists and our very dignified jury members to please switch on their cameras. Yes, I'm doing that. Thank you. To please switch on their cameras so that we can have a group picture before we finally conclude the global case competition. All the scholars, all our presenters, jury members.
May I request Dr. Sikha Kapoor kindly, if possible, open the camera. Tanmay, Mr. Ghosh, Sistu Jain.
I please request Dr. Vikas Garg and one of our scholars, Divyanshu, to please take a picture. And we would be doing that also at our end so that we have multiple pictures. Thank you. Done from my end as well. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Warm wishes from Amity University. Thank you, everyone. Good luck.
Thank you.